What's up, you bunch of fucking degenerates? And today I'm going to show you the volume profile trades for the 29th of the 7th. So I've got my chart marked up already, and if you want to trade volume profile, I think one of the most important things, and I got it from Cami Capital, is marking off the New York session alone. You can do the overnight, but I don't have much success with it. It's too much for me. I like having 3 levels and then your weekly levels, but that's about it. Less is more, in my opinion. So you can see already that when price opens up inside the value area, it tends to be respected. And yeah, you get a bit overhang and shoot and whatever, but that's all part of trading. So the first thing then you want to do is get your volume profile. And I don't like to trade before 8 p.m., which is the Asian Open. So that starts, and this is where price is. You can imagine it's like this. You can't see anything. Now, looking at this, price is above the value area, so price is seeking value. That's how this works. So my first trade would have been a long off this value area high, which at one point did overlap. Where is it? It's here. Nope. Next one. Nope. Here. Okay, it changed too quickly. But I would have longed this. And now, as you can see, this would have been a loser. Oh, and how I have stops, I have it ATR based. And for those who want the settings, ATR is set at 0.66. Actually, it's meant to be 7. And now, if you're on this level, the ATR is here. And obviously you got stopped out 2 trades later. It is what it is. But in hindsight, and looking at this is now the POC, and we've just blasted through it. So we've blasted through the POC, we've blasted through the value area high. So price isn't really showing, actually, well, this is the red dot. So that's the first trade, that's a loser. Isn't really showing acceptance above here. This is called a failed auction. Price reached above value, couldn't hold, has come back inside. So now, go forward here. The POC's still above value, and I would have shorted this here. Short on the level, ATR stop. And another thing from Cami Capital, 1-to-1s. That's another banger right there. So that in green. Actually, change that. Green. And if you can see from the indicator here, the indicators this is the difference between 2 moving averages. Don't worry about that. Actually, delete it. And this is the composite index, which is a momentum derivative of the RSI. It's not range bound where the RSI is capped at 100 and 0. This goes negative. This goes way above 100. There's 126 here. Anyway, so when the indicator does this, massive move, and price doesn't really move, you know that you're going to get a bounce of some description. But that bounce, depending on how high it is, depends on what happens down here and this spread. So because this spread is insanely bearish, fast EMA, slow EMA, and this is a W bottoms get retested. So when this came down here and went back up here, I shorted this POC again. And as you can see here, the POC is directly overlapping the value area high. And you've got 2 areas of confluence there, and I don't need to do it, but stop there. There's your target. And because that's a W, you know that low is going to get retested. That's a 1.5 hour trade. Bang. So that's another one. Another thing I like to mark out is VWAP from the previous day. And look where that's ended up. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Moving on, price comes down here, no overlap, no key levels, so I wouldn't take this POC bounce. You could, it's a single confluence trade. I don't really like them. Stack more confluences in your favor and it'll work out way better. Oh shit, what do we got here? Moving on, price comes down here. Now you've got this high volume node with the previous day VWAP, and you have this little cluster here. You can see the bounce. Long this, stop there. And that is a big bounce, but we're not aiming for big bounces. We just want one-to-ones. And that gives that there as well. So that's 1 loss and 3 winners already, and it is 21.15, 9.15. You're an hour and a half into the session. You're already up 2R. Price comes up to previous day point of control. Considering we bounced from here, you could short it. And the reason why you could short it is you have this hidden bearish divergence between this peak and this peak. So that is like, it is a confluence in the fact you have the divergence, but in terms of the levels on the chart, you have a bit of volume here, but it's not really enough for me to do it all the time. You've got to have that hidden bearish divergence. So shorting that again, and that's another banger. ATR stop. And yeah, you can see that's a one-to-one. Now we're at 4 winners. Where's this level gone? Moving on. I did long this again, hoping for a bounce. I don't know why I did that, but that's a loss. Shit. And that was a stupid loss because because of that, this was never going to hold. This was always coming lower. Then comes down to value area low, and I wouldn't long this just yet. You have the developing value area is here. You have a cluster of volume here, so yeah, you could trade this bounce, but I like to wait for this to come a little bit lower. Like this gap is too big. Fucking thing. Comes down here, you get a solid reaction. This massive reaction. Now you've got the POC here, value shifted lower, and you get a retest. ATR stop, one-to-one. Green. Price tags it again. I wouldn't have traded this. Once is enough for me on the level, unless I'm fairly certain it's going to hold. I wasn't certain it was going to hold, so I left it. Price comes up. Look, this is previous day's VWAP. Bang. Shorting here. Stop here. 1.43. Now there was something here that I remember seeing. You know what it was? It was on that fucking indicator. No, it wasn't. Don't worry. Was it the 3 minute? Or 1 minute? The 1 minute had divergence, but that wasn't it. Can't remember what it was I was looking at. So that's traded up there. That's rejected from it again. fucking thing just does not like it. Retest it again from the underside, comes back down. Now I would have longed this. This is showing it's bounced. Long here. Where's this stop? That actually doesn't tag it, tags it there. And 1 to 1 back just above the POC. I know I said I wouldn't along this, but this is shown a reaction, had time away and got the bounce. So what's that? Well, that's another winner. So for the day, and it's only 11 p.m, and you've been started at 8 p.m, and you traded 3 hours, you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins and 2 losses. 5R for the day. Not bad. And now if you want to do the other day, while we're here, actually fuck it. I'll do it then. I'll do tomorrow, from tomorrow. It's FOMC. It'll be interesting. All right, thanks for that. See you later.